And hello, welcome back. Pretty sure no one's in the chat, and that's okay. What's going on here? But I'm gonna open it up just in case. Oh, Empire of Dirt. Hello, Jeff. Someone is waiting. Imagine that. Okay, so what's going on there? Audio video's good? Okay, yeah, I was just trying to, it's not going good on this, but there we go. Tablet just caught up, killed the audio here, we're good. So I'll be watching and definitely verbally answering questions as best I can. I'll read them out as well. I wasn't doing that before, so I gotta read them out, and we'll get underway. Let's have a look at what's going on and why I'm doing this now. It's only been 3 days, maybe 4. So, well, now orange, yellow guy is doing it. But one of these guys is also showing me some bad sign. Now, I'm starting to think I didn't put any beef heart in this tank. Okay, and everybody was good. Yesterday I fed some beef heart. I've been feeding it upstairs. Nobody has any trouble. I'm starting to think I got to throw out my beef heart and buy new beef heart. It's been frozen and it's been in the freezer a couple months, but I'm starting to wonder if the beef heart's doing this to these stinkers. It didn't do it before, so I think I'm going to throw it out and stop, or just stop feeding these 5 fish that beef heart. I don't know. I think I'm going to throw it out though. But I mean, I'm only guessing, so I could throw it out for nothing. Big red for sure, a female. I was looking at the videos, and here, let's get the camera back over on the other side. I was looking at the videos, and I think behavior-wise, it looks like maybe the younger orange one laid them, but they never turned yellow. And Big Red was right up on it and guarded them for most of the night until basically the lights went out, and then Big Red abandoned the eggs. The eggs stayed bright white. The other eggs I've had have turned yellow, so I guess they were getting fertilized, but the parents were too immature to finish the job regardless, in my previous videos the last couple months. But I think, I'm starting to think now, because I was looking at the video up close, I don't see well with my eyes live, you know. But when I get to zoom it on the video, I'm pretty sure what I'm seeing coming out of Big Red when the eggs were being laid is the egg laying spout. I forgot the name of it. So I'm really, hard to tell, but I would say I'm 80% Big Red's girl right now. And it's my dominant fish. That's the funny part. Females, I guess, are dominant. And hello to Dixie and Aquarium Animals and me, Empire of Dirt. Thanks everyone for coming. So yeah, Big Red's probably a girl, and we're gonna keep an eye on that, because I certainly don't want to mix 2 girls together in a breeding tank. That would they would fight hard, and that would not go well. So, but I'll just wait till I see whoever Big Red picks, and I think it's going to be that orange one. Orange one's only 8 months old. It's way too young, but they'll still pair off. They don't know how young they are, so they pair off and they try anyway. It just won't work out. I think Big Red was trying to teach the orange one how to guard the eggs, sort of doing a little training. And the orange one wasn't brave enough to fight off older fish. So that's why the eggs didn't make the night. But that, if I'm right and they're a pair, I've now got 3 pairs on the way, which is great. Like, because it's supposed to be 1 pair for every 10 fish. I've got, I think, 17 fish, and I think I've got 3 pairs on the way. Hello, Ellen. I should be reading over here. Ellen from Empire, or Aquariums and Animals. Okay. I'll try and remember that. Sometimes I'm bad with things sticking, but it'll get there. So I'm gonna start the maintenance here, and here we go with that behavior. Let's show you again. This tank's relatively new. It's only been running like not even a month, so I really have to keep an eye on them. And when I see stuff like this, even though my tags are fine, and if I run my test kit, it's gonna be fine. But my fish is telling me things aren't fine. So we're doing a water change now, even though I didn't want to do one today because of that. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to do another one just to make sure that, like, this system's holding roughly 260 gallons. So I'll do one tonight. It'll be about 110, 120 gallons. And I'll do one tomorrow. And we'll change, that should change out the vast majority of what's in here. And maybe I'll get 5 days if I do that. Good day, Mark. Good day. So we're going to get on with the water change routine, and I'll do my best to continue on speaking and describing what I'm doing and watching the chat while we do it. And we'll try and get you guys a good angle where you can see what's going on with both the tank and the barrels. If you don't know what's going on with my system here, and you might not, because I know that not everyone gets to watch everyone's videos entirely. I have 2 75-gallon tanks on this rack. This is an old warehouse rack. It was scrap metal. The top half of it had been damaged and bent, so someone, the company was throwing it out. My son works in contracting, construction, all that stuff, and he runs into these things all the time. So he brought it home. We cut off the good part on the bottom because that's all that would fit down here anyway, and then I converted it into a stand with some scrap 2x4. I didn't even pay to make this. Like, I think I bought the carbon fiber stuff and the screws and the paint. Yeah, the stain I even got free. So. But yeah, anyway, back to it. It's 2 75 gallons, and then I got 2 50-gallon, 55-gallon barrels. I know the brown one is meant to be 50 gallons at this bottom line here, but I fill it right up to the top, so it's probably got at least 55 gallons in it. And same with this blue one, it's right to the top, so I don't know if it's 50 to the brim, but I called them 110 gallons. And I call, these are 100, well, there's a little bit less there. So overall, it's probably 260 gallon roughly. And this tank flows into the far barrel. Far barrel flows into the shorter, closer barrel. Then that barrel flows into the bottom tank, back up through, and it just goes in a circle at 430 gallons per hour. Those barrels I'm slowly filling with biomedia, but it costs money, and they're gonna be full though. And then I got just a Pelican, a big one up there, and then I've got sponge filters and a 13-watt UV sterilizer down here, and they're all working together. And there's heaters all over the place, and these 2 heater controllers control the heat. The right one is the barrel temperatures. The left one's the tank temperatures, and the probes are like, there's 1 probe here, then I skip a barrel, no probe, then there's a probe in the middle, and then there's no probe here. So I went around with thermometers and it works, so I don't have to buy four of these to pull stuff off. This will be the first time I gravel vac this this sand, and I'll show you what I bought for that sand to save money. It's called Green Grit, and it's recycled wine bottles. It's crushed back down into sand, and it's made for sandblasting. So it's you know it's inert because it's just glass, and yeah, it's kind of like having sand and a glass bottom tank all at the same time. So I'm going to clean that up here. It's probably going to be a little messy because there's a lot of light stuff in it. There's actually little pieces of wine bottle paper in there. That might not, it hasn't caused me any problems. And so I'm expecting a lot of light material to come up. And I'm going to gravel back that now. Then I'm going to scrub the glass. And then we're going to drop the water. And probably a good hour's work here. I don't even know if my gravel vac hose is gonna do a very good job because it might not be long enough. I haven't tried to do it yet. Should be okay. But we shall see. What my other clamp do? Must have left the clamp upstairs. I'll get that after. I don't want to really remove the lid, so we're just going to kind of half-ass it here. These are wide doors. I bought this lid for this tank off of Amazon. I was going to make one like everyone else does out of that greenhouse material. I forgot the name of the stuff right now. You know, plastic, and you cut your own up. But when I priced it, it was a 6 foot by 2 foot sheet. Or yeah, I think it was a 6 foot by 2 foot sheet for $70. And I was like, well, nope, forget it, because proper cut glass, $100. So I just went for the real deal. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens with this vacuuming this really light glass. It's gonna make a mess. I'm gonna have a lot in the bucket, but I want the light stuff out anyway, so that's what I'm doing here. And then she's off. Pardon me while I get up on the chair. It's actually not too bad. It's not too bad. Can you guys see that? There's not a lot of particles coming way up. It takes a while, so it's actually heavier than I thought it was going to be. It's good news. And yeah, this is actually better than the black sand I bought. I lose more black sand. This is a pleasant surprise. I thought this was going to be bad. Like the aquarium store black sand, I don't know what they make that out of. But it's $10 for a little teeny bag. And you need like 20 bags to do this. So. Not getting a lot of dirt out of the soil, which is good. Means I don't have to focus too hard on this after all. But I can visibly see some, and almost looks like an algae buildup on the top of this. So I'm getting it dealt with. Most of the crap's actually sitting on top right now, though. I still am getting that light material out that I want to get out. Basically, it's just shredded up wine bottle labels. I'll be seeing those probably for the first couple gravel vacuums on this tank, and then they'll be gone. Underneath this sand, I've got pure quartz. I made sure I sorted out any quartz that had colors or gray lines. I just put the white ones in because they're inert and they won't harm your fish. Quartz won't harm your fish. And here we are. Hello, small fish. How you doing? Have you solved the snail problem, Dixie? Have you figured out a solution? You got to get those ram's horn snails before they take off on you. Gets real ugly real fast. Kind of looks like your glass has freckles. And not the kind you want to see. Yeah, no, this green grit. I'll show you. It's only, I think I spent like $13 for a 50-pound bag of it. Oh, and there we go. I'm overflowing my bucket. A little bit not paying attention. That's why I got these absorbent pads in the ground, because I like to do stuff like that. Pick this up. You'll see me do that from time to time. I don't really do it upstairs because I have a routine upstairs. Yeah. Well, I think I have to disconnect the old. I don't want to disconnect anything down there, so I did half the tanks, almost half the tank on gravel vac. I'm going to quit because it didn't look bad, and I'm going to leave it alone. Only because I'm too lazy to find that plug down there to turn off the UV, and the water level is going to be too low for it if I go any further. We're going to stop with that, and we're going to move on to draining these barrels. I will unplug the barrel heaters. You never want to leave your heaters in. It's always a bad thing. You leave them in. Okay. This one's 830 gallons per hour. The same thing it's a sump. for tanks, but for bigger systems, and I just buy it for draining my tanks. Put a garden hose on it. Works like a charm. I should carry the buckets, but it just takes too long that way. It's good exercise though. Now that's in place, I will shut down this sump. I'm going to stop the 430 gallon per hour sump. And now I've got the inlet pipe cut in a way that this tank will drop down an inch, because I've always got some evaporation down here. So what I want to do is I want to bring it up to my fill line. I have a fill line marked, as most people do with these things. And I stay below that so I don't have a flood if the tower goes out. You can hear the air releasing now. And now that that's stopping, I'm going to engage the 830 gallon per hour one. If you'll excuse me for just a minute. I forgot one of my clamps upstairs. A&W, caffeine free. I like Barks, I really do. But if you don't want caffeine, next best thing right here. Yeah. Yes, it's always great to keep towels around. Like, definitely. I've got, crappy old towels that I don't use for non-human use towels. Yeah, I've designated them to fish tank cleaning towels because it has to. You need them. You need them. Especially if you're me. I'm a klutz, and the older you get, the more forgetful you get. So, and when I try and do 6 things at once, it's going to equal a flood. It always does, and I try not to. But if I did one thing at a time, which I'm actually been sort of doing today, and I still flooded the damn place. Yeah, if I do one thing at a time, it'll take forever. So yeah, I'm gonna drain this today. Actually, I should be cleaning the glass right now. I got a little bit of algae I want to deal with. We got all these drains. I get all my tanks free too. I'm like the frugal fish keeper from Frugal Land, and so a lot of them are scratched up and stuff. But first chance I get to pounce on a drilled 6-foot tank, I'll be switching this 75 gallon 4-foot tank out for that, and it'll happen. It'll happen. It's really weird with this hobby. I need something, I say it out loud like that, and it happens. Last thing I said, I need a gas powered generator for when the power goes out. I'll show you. It's around the corner. Beautiful unit, free. I just gotta. There's old gas in it. I gotta clean it out, and good to go. And it's not even an old unit. It's pretty modern. I don't know, I'm just lucky, I guess. It's not me that finds it either, it's the young lad. He's lucky. I'm lucky to have him. He picked that generator up for me too. Get all the big spots, and I'll hit it with the brush. Storm blasting. It's always good not to fall on your razor blade. Point that out. Feed my apple snail. I'll feed the apple snail. Still pretty small. He's getting there. I've been feeding them dandelion leaves because I don't treat my lawn with anything. It's all natural. So I go out and I pull up the dandelions and I bring the leaves down and I feed him. He loves it. That. I'll let the back stuff grow because you can't reach it and I don't want to do it. Sometimes you just get to do that. But I'm going to clean the front real nice because it's looking foggy and I don't like that. I don't mind the back getting a little raunchy because I don't have to stare through it. I want to see how clear the water is. They keep that front glass nice. Right now we got that clear sort of filmy stuff building up, making the view look cloudy. I don't like that. Thanks so much for watching me, or at least, even if you got me muted, I'm cool with that. I'm clocking hours, which is exactly what I need to do. I'm 3/4 of the way through the watch hour requirement for the next step. Well, monetization, or the ability to monetize comes next, right? So, and other cool channel features. Well, at least cleaning the front glass is easy. I won't have to struggle to do that. I was worried about how high up this is. It's great for me watching, but yeah, it's the only way. This was the best fit I could manage down here with this rack. Sort of reach back there like this. And give it a go. Those spots are there. And then later I'll hit the front with some Windex, and she's gonna look as good as it gets for this tank. It's a little scratched up, like I said, but beggars can't be choosers. I didn't beg either. I just we watched the Facebook Marketplace, and a lot of people just get it out of my house, taking up space. You can't sell tanks in my city. No one wants them. People end up giving them away. No one wants them because if you don't know what you're doing, my tap water will kill your fish. You'll be fine for months on end, and then they do shit to it, and you come home, your fish are dead. You don't know why. You give away your 4-foot tank because you can't sell it, and that's my city. Oh, I'll help you, small fish. I'll help you every time I see you up there. I'll be in there. I also throw my TV up at the same time with one of my kids has an account on the TV, so I'll go on the YouTube, and yeah, I throw a couple up when I go help people out. I don't just throw up one. You come in on different devices, it helps like that. If you do it all on the same computer, it doesn't. It'll just clock one of them. But if you come in on a computer and a TV and two different accounts, you'll clock two. I'm in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Where are you from, Smallfish? Oh, barrel number one's drained. Now we'll start barrel number two. Here's my other clamp. Well, barrel number two drains. Barrel number one fills. Let's just open those up. Now the problem is I'm tap filling, which is not something I've gotten used to because I pre-treat the water upstairs. I'm tap filling these barrels, so I gotta play the watch your temperature game. It's never fun. the only move around probe I've got. When I fill the brown one, I have to use this because the green one has this probe. So now we're coming out cold at 80 degrees, but it's like a 200-foot hose, and the basement's 80 degrees. Great. It's a little cold right now, but it's going to warm up. Not just the hose that has to empty, it's all the pipes in my house. I should have, well, they were running the laundry a minute ago, so it shouldn't be too bad. We should be okay soon. If I'm a couple degrees off, it's not bad because it's got to run through this tank and mix, and then it'll run into this tank and mix, so the temperature variant won't be, probably being more cautious than I need to be. The barrel's already 25% drained, the second one. Actually takes me longer to fill these than it does to empty them. Good time to look at the chat. Need some water on here. Yes, that's right. Watching live is count for hours. Oh yeah, Virginia, nice. Fredericksburg. That's not one I hear very often. Must be a small little place. Well, you're going to hear people say you could run them discus temperatures at 82 degrees. I think that's bad. I run mine at 85 and up. And the reason for that is the stuff like ick and a lot of the external problems, they don't function well at 85 and above. In the winter, I'll keep my tanks at 87, but in the summer, I keep them at 85 because we get heat waves, so that gives me a 2-degree buffer in case the heat wave starts to warm the tank up. My fish seem to start getting stressed out around 90 degrees. They can do pretty good up to 89, 90 degrees. And the Germans go south. The Asians are tanks. They can take anything. But the brown ones, even my snake skins, no, they're not comparable to an angelfish whatsoever. They're very easy to kill. So keep that in mind if you want to get into them. Grab the orange ones and the yellow ones and the blue ones, like the solid color guys, or the pigeon bloods and stuff like that. Those are the Asians, right? Even this yellow guy, although he's a bad Asian, he's a shitty Asian because he got an eating disorder, mental problem. I don't know. They do that. Sometimes you get one that just won't eat right, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's got something wrong in its head. But yeah, the Asian varieties, they're very, very hardy if you get a healthy one. And like Big Red has never ever been sick. Nothing has ever gone wrong with Big Red. That other orange one in there, the same color as Big Red, same thing. Brought it home, grew like a bad weed, never got sick, and it just that's the Asians for you. I got more Germans than I do Asians, so that's why you see me jumping through hoops, because there's nothing wrong with my water, but one of them was pissed off. He's telling me something's wrong, so I'm changing it. When I'm done, he's going to swim around like a happy little man. And they're fussy like that. So, and the Stenkers are even worse. Like there's other German strains out there that are pretty good, much stronger. But yeah, these Brilliant Turks in particular, because they're the only ones I can really say this about. I would say they're weak. They're weak genetically, and they're prone to illness, and that's just inbreeding and domestication for you. Barrel's half full, and we'll keep forgetting to put the twine in early. Double dose. I'll mix it up in a bit. It's the worst thing, forgetting your prime. And I did it in the beginning. I lost a couple fish that way. It's a sad mistake to make, but we'll do it. We all do it. Check the board again. Picking myself to okay. Yeah, my city, Ottawa. I'm about 35 minutes north of the New York State border, and I think Ogdensburg is the name of the nearest bridge / crossing. That's the closest I am to the States from here. I don't know how to. Yeah, that's it. I think Rochester and shit's underneath me. Probably about a foot of water in there still. Drain them right down. Probably container here. I didn't finish this yet. So yeah, if you were to get into discus, go for the Asians. You know, get comfortable with them, and then maybe grab some Germans, figure them out because they're finicky, and then jump on the wilds, because the wilds, I don't know, from everything I've seen and read, most. Oh, I should check that. Huh? Most of the time, the wilds are going to show up sick. I need more heat. More heat. And we'll check that in a second. Yeah, the wilds show up sick a lot, so you're going to get losses when you buy wilds. You don't always save every sick fish.
A lot of times when someone realizes or when you can see the fish is sick, it's too late. You gotta be able to notice this stuff really early. And I can't find a wild retailer in my city, so that's why I don't have them. I would definitely check some out if I could get some. Won't mind some of them heckles with that dark stripe in the middle. I think that's pretty cool. But one day maybe it'll show up. But they probably don't sell them because they always die, and then the customers get pissed off, and that's the problem. So here people compare these to angelfish a lot. But they're talking about the Asian varieties. Like for how ease of care, so to speak. And there we go. Second barrel's drained. I think this time when I fill it, I'm just going to let barrel 1 drain into barrel 2 and wait for barrel 2 to start overflowing here. Move this so I can see it. And then once I hit my fill line, I'll shut the water off. We're going to put prime in barrel 2 right now. Wait for that to start happening. That barrel's double dosed as well. A little bit of prime drip in here. Prime will wreck your clothes hard, so make sure you never leave it on your hands. You touch your shirt, done. It's like bleach. I learned that last winter. I wrecked like 3 pairs of my house sweats because I was drying my hands, not thinking about it. Now I'm always thinking about it. Yeah. A fire eel, huh? I'll have to look that up. I haven't seen the fire eels. These are spiny eels. I have one upstairs. It's a half-banded spiny eel. And this one's crap, something like yellowtail, or I forget. He's got yellowtail, that's his main feature. And there's one in here too. It's a baby though. It's not as big as the one upstairs. But when this one finishes growing, it will be a couple inches bigger than the one upstairs. It's a slightly larger species. And they get along great with the discus, so at least Ely does. And this one hasn't been a problem at all either. So I tried to put the 2 wheels in the same tank. Don't do that. Won't do that. They go to war. Moth. First barrel is about 6 inches from the overflow. Temperature's at 82.8. Means it's actually warmer than that because it was cold. Yeah, so I'm gonna kick her back just a little bit. I don't want it heating up in there. And I'll show you what I do with my water. Pardon my sink, this is a real old house. It's all painted and stuff, but here you go. I come out of the tap, I hit a 20 micron forced filter, and it comes down to here, and it goes into a 5 micron in the first cylinder filter. So those two, the 20 and the 5, are cleaning out about 90 to 95, probably 95% of the metals, heavy metals, and crap. And then the last one is a charcoal block filter. So it's also cleaning stuff up pretty good. And without that on my tap, my pH is off the charts. It's 8 point, I don't know what, because it's the maximum color. And with that rig on my tap, it comes out probably about 7.2 instead of 8 point off the charts. And then when I get it in the tank, it'll settle out around 6.4 upstairs. It settles out around 6.4. Down here, it's about 6.6. So, but this tank's young, and it's almost the same, 6.4, 6.6. There's not a lot different. So over here, this tank's been running a little longer, and it's definitely 6 point. It's even 6.3 in the Oscar tank. So 6.4, 6.2 to 6.6 is recommended viscous pH, but I don't think it really matters. I changed it because I thought that was why my eggs were dying, and it may have been, but really why my fish weren't being successful is they were just too young. So, and I started going down the checklist of why I'm not being successful and spending money on filters and stuff. And I could have went crazy and bought RO, but I don't want to do that. It's very wasteful to use an RO system when it comes to water, especially if you live in a standalone house and you get a water bill. You don't want that. If you don't get a water bill, then who cares? But this house gets one. Excuse me. Here we go. Now this barrel's flowing into this barrel. Now I just gotta wait for that one to fill. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop a dose of prime in this tank. Now prime dechlorinate on contact. It really does work almost instantly, but of course your cap full is going to can take a little while for convection to push it around the water. In here, it would probably only take about 3 minutes for it to get completely mixed in. In the barrels, roughly the same time. So if I wait 7 to 10 minutes just to be sure before I kick the systems in, I shouldn't have to dose the entire system, although I've given it enough to do that anyway. But if I wanted to be cheap, I could just dose my barrels, wait 10 minutes, and not dose anything else, and I should be fine. Which is another advantage to the setup, because I don't have to dose 260 gallons worth of prime if I want to do a 50% water change. I can dose a lot less. And I double dose my prime anyway, so it adds up. It really does over time. Especially when you're doing water changes twice a week, right? The upstairs tank's definitely getting down to a once a week deal, which is great, but it'll take you a while to season your tank and get to that point. Like that tank's a year old upstairs, and finally, I can slow down on my workload because it's handling everything on its own. But this tank, it looks like I'm going to have to give it attention at least every 3 days, probably for the next 2-3 months minimum. And regardless of all the water volume, I was hoping the water volume would slow that down a bit, but not yet, not yet. Oh no, here. Boom, even more lights. Man, it's probably the time of day because the other videos I made them in the morning. Of course, no one's up in the morning. Taking off for work. So. But I often do my maintenance in the morning just because I wake up early. And that's a great time of day for me. Barrel temperature's 86.2. And the brown barrel, blue barrel's 84.4. Turn back these heat off again a little bit. Because I'm running this system at 85. I can be a degree or two over and I can be a few degrees under and it's not going to notice. But I want to be close. There's almost no biomedia in these barrels. I've got gravel and I got a bunch of a big thick mass of fake plants in the gravel in both and the fake plants in the blue one. But the barrel walls themselves are very porous. It's like a porous plastic. If I go over and scratch it, it's very, and there's a lot of surface area on those walls between the two barrels. So the barrels themselves are actually a bit of a biomedia housing. It's giving them the porous walls are giving the bacteria somewhere to be. It's much better than a piece of glass would be, Have a good night, with small fish. Thanks for stopping by. I'll be right back.
all going fairly well. That forced filtration really slows down my fill time, but it's what you got to do. $84.9. It's entering this barrel right where it needs to be. Although over here, I'm reading about 86 right now. Maybe 86 and 0.2. So I'll be letting the barrel overflow into the lower 75 gallon. I'll fill that one right to the brim. Kick the water out. Turn on the sump. Done. And then I'll be doing this again tomorrow morning. Probably won't broadcast it, but no one's up in the morning anyway. I'll just make a normal video.
Kept getting interrupted while I was doing this too. Still see a few spots I gotta get here.
That'll be good enough. And 5.5. It's okay. Well within safety margins. We're a little warmer over here now. We're getting into 87, but by the time it gets up there, it'll cool down. I'll back that heat off some more. Actually quite a bit now. I'm just gonna run almost complete cold water. Not entirely though. We are about 3/4 full. I'm bringing this over with the camera and show you
show you what the barrels look like right now. This is the barrel setup. So you can see the pipes coming out the backside. It runs down into the brown barrel, which fills up and then overflows here to along the pipe that runs down, so the new water gets down to the bottom. And what I'll have in here is it's going to be filled with pot scrubbies that melt float. So the new water will have to float up through the pot scrubbies. I spend literally over $100 on them. So that's why it hasn't done yet. And they'll get to, then the water will get to here after it travels through the pot scrubbies, and all the biology does its tricks. And then it'll flow here back into the system. So that's where we're at right now on the fill. And it's actually doing that. It's coming in through that pipe right now. Those are fake plants. I could put real plants in here and stick a light in here. That's definitely a thought process for down the road. But Rome was not built in a day. And I'm a man on a budget, trying to pull off a miracle with nothing. So I spend all my money on fish, filters, heaters, food, and the rest of it I've strived to acquire at little or no cost. And here we are. This is a year of my efforts. Behaving in that manner. Got these down here too. It's a 15 hospital tank, which I have to drain and still work on some balance a little bit. This is a 30 gallon. That's a breeder tank. It's going to have cones, and that's what that's for. I got two 20 gallon breeders upstairs that need to be replaced with 30 gallon breeders, because 20 gallon breeders, although they'll probably work, the fish were so much happier in the 30, and happiness is, it's like someone said to me, discus are like ladies, you know, size matters. In this case, they do a better job looking after their brood in the 30 gallon than the 20. They're happier, and happiness means bigger clutches, more surviving babies, more confidence. So I need to get about 3 or 4 more 30 gallon tanks and figure out a way to mount them down here somewhere. I might build a rack up this wall. I think out of wood. We'll get 3 30 gallons. I want square ones. I didn't paint that butterfly or this purple wall. That was from previous tanks a long time ago. Sure, a child painted that. It's probably an adult now. Still, now we're getting into 86. The temperature's dropping in the brown barrel. Or 85.5 in the blue barrel. And the main system is meant to be 85, so we're doing okay. And we just need the lower tank to fill. Lower tank's unpopulated, and will be for a while. But the hope is, once I start producing babies, I get them to a month old, I will first off stick a safety cage around the sump inlet, and then we'll start dropping babies. And I'll start keeping the smaller fish down here as time goes on. And medium-sized fish will go here. And the full-grown puppies who aren't in breeding tanks are going to go in the 90. And that's the plan. That's the plan for how I'm going to move things around. So, my multi-tank syndrome is still pushing me into 3 more 30-gallon aquariums. I'm going to need to find those. And but I have not even been looking, because I think I'm months and months away now from managing baby discus. So my focus is on grow them out as big as humanly possible. Bigger females lay more eggs. Instead of a 200 egg batch, you'll end up with a 400 egg batch. And so in the long run, the wait should be worth it. This camera is so much nicer. Look at my Oscar with this camera. When I use my other phone, which I normally use, it makes this Oscar look yellow, or sorry, orange on my other phone, but he's actually gold. And this camera here does a better job at true color. I've really got to start using it. This phone I'm holding right now is a Huawei P30, and it's a great phone. I just switched over to the Samsung Fold because I got sick of phones falling out of my pocket, to be honest. And the government started talking crap about Huawei at the time. I just bought this phone for like $1,300, and they're like, "Let's ban Huawei." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I turned around and spent $1,700 on the Samsung Fold. But now I have two really nice phones that are completely paid for, and this camera's coming in handy. I think I'm going to start filming with it. Really, look at that. Look at the clarity there. I've never seen the silver dollars look that good on film. So I think, yep, we're going to do that. We're going to be switching this camera from now on, folks, because that looks, now that I'm paying attention to it, that really looks nice. That's a really nice clear picture there. Zoom's better too. Live and learn. I'm using the wrong camera for a year. Hilarious. Had them both too. Okay, he's still not happy back there. And that's why we're doing this. And even the yellow guy is holding all three of these now. You see, it's like a slow crash. And here we go. Barrel number 2 is full, and now we're overflowing into the lower 75 gallon. Now we just gotta wait for that to fill up and re-engage the system. Everything's gonna be perfect at that point. But yeah, if I check my my nitrates, it won't be that bad right now. There'll be 0 ammonia, 0 nitrates, a little bit of nitrates, and if you had an African cichlid tank, you would think nothing's wrong. But you see that? Just do a water change. Another sign is, look at those bubbles. They are lasting a long time, which is why I'm going to do another water change in the morning. So I'm only doing about 45% when I do 2 barrels, and that might not be enough. Oops, hit the wrong camera there. That might not be enough. I might have to drop both barrels and the bottom tank to do water changes for them to be sufficient. Oh, I haven't been watching the chat. Let me get this back on the stand. Do a little reading in the chat. Hello, happy place. Thank you for the compliments. They are beautiful indeed. I'm just finishing up here with this water change. Once 75 gallon fills up, it's good to go. It's a new system, so I'm changing it a little more often than I will in the future, but that's okay. I'm going to do it again tomorrow morning because I don't like what I'm looking at. And then I'll have moved enough water volume up that we'll be okay for a few days. So happy everyone stopped by tonight. Greatly appreciated. Um, you know, beginning of the last reporting period for YouTube, which was I think it was a few days ago. I was just under 75% of the way through my watch hour requirement. So definitely be doing some more live streams and keep pumping out those videos, and we're gonna get there, folks. I'd like to get there by fall. You see, I understand YouTube's not very busy in the summer. A lot of people back off in the summer, but I'm trying to get there before the peak, which will be in the winter, I assume. So, yeah, that's why you're seeing lots of videos out of me. I'm just trying to work it. Just about ready to plug in that sump in the lower tank and start the cycle again. And kill those taps. Make sure I've screwed up the temperature a little bit. Not bad though. It's about 83 degrees in the blue barrel right now. But sorry, in the brown barrel. Blue barrel is 85, right where I want it to be. So by the time that brown barrel gets over here, this will warm it up, and everything's going to be hunky dory. So we're killing the taps. Taps are off, and we're going to plug in the sump. Start circulation. There she goes. Let's have a look, see at that as well. So it's pumping back in right up here right now. And you can see the pissed off fish. He's going right for the fresh water. He wants it washing over him. He was fed up with his current water, and he went right to where he knows that's where it comes in. And he'll sit there now because let it wash over him. This one's probably going to move back there too. Their fins down right now, you know. That's an unhappy discus when they're not totally erect. Like this guy, he's fine with it. Nothing's wrong. He's like, I don't even know what they're talking about. He's even perking up a bit. But yeah, I'll throw up a short video after this tank circulates for 30-40 minutes, and we'll show you what they look like after their water change. Very interesting. It should have dropped more than that. I guess my fill line doesn't have to be as low as I had it, which is kind of nice if I can put it like that. It's a lot more volume in this system than this would be a lot better than here. I filled that up and started the sump. I believe the tank's full and overflowing already. So I was overestimating by doing it here. If that stays there, I'm going to move this up, and that'll be my new spot. And after it backflows, I won't get a flood. In the event of a power outage, of course, it doesn't even matter if I get a flood down here, just the basement. But still don't want to do it. So. I'm not sure I'd call that full flow yet, though. So it's water level's probably actually dropping in here because that's not full flow. So the barrels aren't quite where they should be yet. This will pick up a little bit here. That's what I was seeing over there. I think if we go over there now and look, yeah, you see now creeping up on the line. So my line's probably true. And by the time I get to that line, this flow rate's going to look more like 400 plus gallons per hour. Right now it's looking more like 150. That's what's going on. And one last look at our Mr. Oscar, who is hiding in his little cave.
Oh, Mr. Man.
We're going to call it here. And last peek at our little friends. I hope you all have a great night. And sleep well. Ciao for now. Catch you on the next one.